Hello everyone, myself Deepa Singh, working as assistant professor in Gyan Vihar School of Pharmacy, SGV Jaipur. Today we discuss about ophthalmic preparation or continue about previous lecture. In previous lecture, we covered the introduction of ophthalmic preparation, different types of ophthalmic preparation, and how you make or manufacture these ophthalmic preparations or condition required for manufacturing of this ophthalmic preparations. So already we covered these topics in previous lecture. Today we continue this ophthalmic preparation. In this we check different formulation, how we prepare or method of preparation of some ophthalmic preparation. In this mainly formulation of eye drop, eye ointment and eye lotion will cover in this lecture. How we prepare this type of formulation. It is a topic of industrial pharmacy 1 5th semester subject topic. Before starting this topic or today's lecture, we should know about some learning objects of this topic. So these are the learning object. In this brief introduction about the formulation of the eye drop, means what are the eye drop and how you formulate, and brief introduction about this formulation method of the eye drop. And next is eye ointment. In this we also cover same parameter that we covered in for eye drop, how you prepare and what are the eye ointment and which parameters require for formulation of this eye ointment, and eye lotion and method of preparation for this eye lotion. Next is ideal properties of ophthalmic drug delivery system. So these are some property because these preparation or these ophthalmic preparation are also very sensitive. It require more say that aseptic condition or more precaution to manufacture because it is a very sensitive product that it may be affect your eye directly or damage your eye or sensation or maybe sight of your eye also. And in this condition we should make a proper good quality ophthalmic preparation. So these are some ideal property of these ophthalmic preparation. In this first is good corneal penetration. It can easily penetrate through cornea or show required therapeutic effect or particular desired effect of that particular formulation when you administer into your eye or into corneal part, so that it can easily penetrate in your cornea. And next is prolonged contact time with corneal tissue. After applying, it should be prolonged period of a time or stay in your eye for a long period of a time. Don't just excrete out or remove through your eye by the help of maybe tears or any other type. So it can be prolonged or maybe contact with your eye or corneal tissue at a long period of a time or for a long period of a time. Next is simplicity of installation for the patient. Not too much difficult for installation. Everyone can install these. No specific or trained person are required, so that you formulate such time that everyone or every person should install easily by yourself, not take any specific install any specific persons or trained person for this installation. Next is non-irritative and comfortable form. It should be non-irritative as comfortable to your eye and don't show any irritation, toxic or unwanted effect to your eye when you apply or administer into eye. Next is appropriate rheological property. Rheological property means viscosity. So it should have a sufficient viscosity so that you can easily administer. If it's too much viscous, then it may be show some administration or installation problem. If it's very thin, then it can easily remove or excrete out through your eye, either tear or any other type. So in this condition, you should make proper rheology of your ophthalmic preparation and it have a sufficient rheological property of your formulation. Next is essential characteristics of a different ophthalmic preparation. So these are some essential characteristics of your ophthalmic preparation that you should check, or with the help of these characteristics, you formulate your formulation of ophthalmic preparation. And this first is a foreign particle. So when we see that foreign particle, all ophthalmic products should be clear and free from a foreign particle and fiber and filaments. Once your formulation should be clear solution, you check that your formulation have any foreign particle, fibers or filament is present or not. Before coming in a market or after finalizing your formulation, you perform clarity test of your formulation. It should be clear, don't have any particle or any material which may be contaminate your product or maybe fiber or filaments or any particle. Next is the viscosity. So in this order to prolong the contact time of a drug in the eye, various thickening agents are added in them, and like polyvinyl alcohol, that is PVP, is 1 to 4%, and polyethylene glycol and methyl cellulose means it have a sufficient viscosity so that you can easily administer it as well as prolong contact of a time if it has sufficient viscosity or viscous in nature. So you should provide proper viscosity or use proper excipient for improving this viscosity. In this, for improving viscosity, mainly we are using polyvinyl alcohol, that is concentration is 1 to 4%. And next is polyethylene glycol and methyl cellulose also you can use. Maybe out of this all that you can use anyone or in a combination. So these are the viscosity modifier or excipient that improve the viscosity of the formulation. Next is a thickening agent or passes following property. It should be easy to filter. Means if you are using some viscosity enhancer or excipient that improve the viscosity. So these excipients have a sufficient property or sufficient thickness that it can easily filter out during filtration or sterilization. It don't maybe stay or stick to filter paper, so that it can have a sufficient or this amount of thickness or viscosity that it can easily filter out through filter paper or by the filter paper. Next, it should be easy to sterilize. Don't show any problem during sterilization. It can easily sterilize, and you can sterilize by the any type of the method and check that it can be proper pure form or not. If you can easily sterilize, then it have a less error or less microbial contamination or be free from a microbe. So you prepare such type of formulation that it can be easily filter out as easily sterilized, don't show any problem. And next is it should be compatible with other ingredients. If you are formulating some preparation of ophthalmic, any type of the formulation, maybe eye drop, eye ointment, or anything. In this condition, you are using different excipient, not only single drug or API is sufficient for your formulation. In this condition, you should make sure that each and every excipient are compatible with each other as well as your drug. There's no any compatibility issue is observed in your formulation or maybe with your excipient. So you check the compatibility study of your ingredient, each and every one ingredient, including excipient as well as API. Next is it should be passes the clarity level. It should be clear solution. Don't show any particle or any material in the formulation. It should be clear solution. Next is tonicity. Tonicity is also very important condition that you should maintain, because if it's not according to isotonicity, then it may be damage your eye or show more advantages or toxic effects. So it should be prepared in a proper isotonicity or according to isotonicity of your eye. And the ophthalmic preparation must be isotonic with lacrimal secretion to avoid discomfort and irritation. Means your eye preparation should be isotonic as same as lacrimal secretion or lacrimal fluid, so that you should avoid discomfort or irritation. And in this, mainly 1.9% of boric acid or sodium phosphate buffer are commonly used to isotonic vehicle. Means for maintaining the isotonicity of your formulation, you are mainly use 1.9% boric acid solution and concentration is 1.9 sufficient. Otherwise, it is not suitable for your eye or maybe show some problem. So you should prepare according to lacrimal fluid tonicity. Next is pH preparation. So pH preparation is mainly required according to your eye pH or tear pH, so that it can show good effect or have compatible with your eye. And in this play, pH role is very important, and role in therapeutic activity, solubility, stability, comfort to the patient. Means other than pH, you should maintain the proper activity, solubility, as well as stability and comfortness of that particular formulation to that particular patient. And next is tear have about pH 7.5, means almost neutral pH of your tear. So you should prepare a neutral condition formulation or that formulation which is compatible to your eye pH. Next is sterility. In this, ophthalmic preparation must be sterile when it is prepared. And Pseudomonas aeruginosa is very commonly gram-negative bacteria, which found in ophthalmic product and may cause serious infection in the cornea. Means there's a one gram-negative bacteria, that is Pseudomonas aeruginosa. This is a very harmful and show more toxic effect or maybe damage your cornea or infect your cornea. So you should prepare a formulation such that it cannot affect or it don't affect your formulation or product during manufacturing, or it is free from that particular bacteria. Next is surface activity. In the surface activity, vehicle are used on ophthalmic preparation. Must be good betting ability to penetrate cornea and other tissue. Benzoponium chloride, polysorbate 20, polysorbate 80 are the example of some surfactant which are commonly used. In wetting agent, suppose you are preparing such formulation, in this is some particle size or small particle material are present, and suppose you are preparing suspension, in this some particles are present. So you can select such type of a particle or small, very little small particles or small uniform particle size that it can be stable or easily penetrate or show good wettability. So improving the surface activity or good wettability, we are using some excipient, or mainly in this we are using some surfactant to enhance the wettability. And example of some surfactant like benzoponium chloride, polysorbate 20, polysorbate 80 are some of the example of a surfactant that you can use for improving the wettability of a product. Now we discuss formulation. In this, first is your eye drop. So when we see the eye drop, so eye drop are the sterile, aqueous or oily solution or suspension of your drug that are installed into your eye with help of a dropper. Means with the help of a dropper, you can easily administer. There's no trained person is required. And these eye drop are mainly packed in a container that easy to handle or easy to install into your eye. And this is available in a solution form or maybe in a suspension form. And next is eye drop are usually contain drug having antiseptic, anesthetic, and anti-inflammatory. Means when we see the use of this eye drop or which drug we use mainly for preparation of eye drop, in this we are mainly select a class of drug like antiseptic drug, anesthetic, or anti-inflammatory type of the drug for this eye drop preparation. Next is essential characteristics of eye drop. In this essential characteristics, they should be sterile, means easy to sterile, don't show any problem or don't have proper pure impure form. It should be easy to sterile and available in a pure form. Next is they should be isoosmotic with lacrimal secretion. Means osmotic pressure is similar to a lacrimal secretion or eye secretion, so that it can be compatible with your eye. So you check also secretion lacrimal of isoosmotic pressure or isoosmosity of your formulation when or after formulating your ophthalmic preparation. Next is they should be free from a foreign particle. There is no foreign particle or unwanted material present in your formulation. It should be free from or don't have any material which affect your formulation or your product. So it should be free from a foreign particle, fibers, and filaments. And they should almost neutral pH, because dear pH is neutral. So you should prepare formulation that should be in a neutral pH or neutral condition so that it is compatible with your formulation. Next is they should be preserved with suitable bactericides. You use some preservative or bactericides which don't affect your formulation to get contaminated and protect from bacterial growth or microbial growth. So it can be free from bacterial microbes, and these preservative helps to stop the growth of microbes. Next is they should be remain stable during its storage. Don't get degrade or show problem during the stability. It should be stored or show good property during the storage, or stable formulation available until the expiry date. Don't get expired too fast or don't get contaminated before expiry date. So in this condition, you should prepare such type formulation which have a stable for a long period of a time or until the expiry date, or with the help of some preservative you can also use in this formulation. Next is adjuvants or formulating agents. So which agents or which ingredient you use for formulation of this eye drop. In this different excipients we are used for manufacturing of eye drop. So there's some example that are majorly used. Without these excipient, your formulation don't perform or you don't formulate. And in this first is thickening agent, means proper viscosity enhancer or thickening is provided with the help of this thickening agent. In this mainly we are some polymer or other thickening agents are used. An example of this thickening agents is like methyl cellulose, polyvinyl alcohol, polyethylene glycol. These agents are commonly used to increase the viscosity of an eye drop. Means proper viscosity is required, and you should maintain this viscosity for your formulation. And this viscosity is maintained with the help of some ingredients like methyl cellulose, polyvinyl alcohol, polyethylene glycol, and these excipients provide the suitable thickness to your formulation. Next is a buffer solution. Buffer solution is mainly adding to maintain the pH of your formulation according to your eye. So in this, we are preparing such type of formulation that have a pH of according to your eye or TLPH, that is approximately neutral. So here you should use a different buffer to maintain the pH of your formulation or ophthalmic preparation according to your eye pH. And in this buffer, we are added to maintain the pH of the eye drop, and boric acid, sodium acid phosphate, sodium citrate used for buffering agent. So there are some of the example according to acidic condition or basic condition. You should maintain your pH of formulation. For maintaining the pH of formulation, we are using different excipients like boric acid, sodium acid phosphate, sodium citrate. These are the buffering agent that you use to maintain the pH of your ophthalmic formulation. Next is antioxidant. So some formulation have a problem or get degrade due to the oxidation or due to the presence of oxygen. So these problem is not occurring in a formulation or maybe stable. Don't oxidation is produced. So in this condition, we are also using some antioxidant to prevent your formulation and stable for a long period of a time. And in this mainly antioxidant, these are the agent that are added to prevention of oxidation. And some sodium meta bisulfate, that is concentration is 0.05 to 0.5%, and sodium thiosulfate, that is 0.1 to 0.2%. Means for this prevention of oxidation or effect of antioxidant, we are using different excipients, and there are two examples, and the concentration of these antioxidant is also very small and very little amount of use antioxidant. And in this antioxidant, mainly we are using sodium metasulfate, that is concentration is 0.05 to 0.5%, and sodium thiosulfate is only 0.1 to 0.2%. So these are the antioxidant which helps to prevent your formulation to oxidation or with the degradation of your formulation due to presence of oxygen. Next is a wetting agent, means if any particle is present or you are formulating suspension type eye drop or having a particle. So in this condition, these particles do not easily get solubilized or do not get easily wet. So in this condition, you maintain proper wettability of your compound or your particle so that it can be easily wet or it can be easily solubilized in your formulation or when come in the contact of cornea. And in this wetting agent, we are proper penetration of eye drop in the cornea of the eye. Means in this wetting agent, we are using those material or those excipient which can easily wet or maybe proper penetration of penetration is takes place into your eye of the cornea. And in this example of wetting agent, mainly we are using surfactant because surfactant helps to wetting of your material or your excipient so that it can be easily get wet or solubilize or maybe get dissolved into a solution. So to enhancing the wettability of your compound, we are using some wetting agents or maybe surfactants. In this surfactant example, mainly we are using polysorbent 20 and polysorbent 80 as a wetting agent. Next is isotonicity adjustment substance. In this, we adjust isotonicity or osmosity or osmotic pressure of your formulation according to your eye. It should be according to your eye or compatible with your eye or your lacrimal secretion, because it's not a compatible, then it may be show some toxic or maybe damage your eyesight also. So in this condition, we are using the isotonic adjustment. One is eye drop are made for isotonic with lacrimal secretion with the help of various buffer and other solution. So in this isotonic adjustment, we are using different. So in isotonic adjustment, eye drop are made up of mainly some excipient or some ingredient. In this, you use some ingredient which maintain the isoosmosity or tonicity of your formulation according to your eye or according to the osmotic pressure of your eye. In this, we are using different buffer or any other sodium chloride or any other excipient which maintain the tonicity according to your eye. Or you should prepare such formulation which have a similar isotonicity according to your eye. After this, next is example of eye drop. So these are the example of an eye drop, including the concentration or excipient that you use your formulation or available in the market. So in example, first is atropine sulfate eye drop. And in this atropine sulfate is only 1 gram in your formulation, or in eye drop only 1 gram atropine sulfate is present. And phenyl mercuric nitrate is 50 ml. And solution is 0.02%, and purified water is up to 100 ml. So these eye drop quantity is 100 ml. You make the volume up to 100 ml, and in this atropine sulfate, only 1 gram of atropine is present in your formulation. And if phenyl mercuric nitrate is 50 ml present, and other solution is 0.02%, and remaining is water or purified water up to 100 ml. And direction is to be directed, means according to situation or according to given in your container, you use this eye drop. Next, second formulation is eye lotion. So eye lotion is also one of the formulation, and these preparation is not for your therapeutic purpose, but mainly this eye lotion is used for washing purpose or cleaning of your eye, and it is available in a concentrated form. So before using this eye lotion, you should dilute your formulation or eye lotion so that you can use diluted solution. And next is these are the sterile aqueous solution used for washing of the eye. Means that this eye solution is not for therapeutic purpose or for particular disease or cure of any disease. It is mainly for washing purpose or washing of your eye in proper sterile condition or with the help of sterile aqueous solution. And in this, the eye lotion are supplied in a concentrated form and are required to dilute with warm water immediately before the use. Means this is available for in a concentrated form, and before using, you should dilute these eye lotion with the help of a warm water. You should use warm water only, because the normal water may have a contaminated material or maybe contaminated not in a pure form. But when you are taking a warm water, there may be chances that it can sterilize or bacteria or microbes get killed. So you should use warm water only, or maybe your lotion get easily mixed in your warm water compared to normal water. So before using or before administration, you should dilute immediately these eye lotion with warm water. Next is eye lotion should be isotonic, free from a foreign particle to avoid the irritation to the eye. Means there's no material or any foreign particle or unwanted material present in the formulation. If there's any particles or unwanted material present in your formulation, then it can irritate your eye or maybe show some toxic effect into the eye. So your formulation should be clear or free from a particular microbes or unwanted material. Next, in the sodium chloride and sodium bicarbonate eye lotion are the commonly used for removing the foreign particle from the eye. Means these are the example of this eye lotion. In this two marketed available eye lotion is sodium chloride and sodium bicarbonate. So these are the two eye lotion that is available in the market. And when we see the purpose or use of this is to remove the foreign particle into your eye, because it's not showing any therapeutic effect, but it is clean your eye. If there is a foreign particle present in your eye or any other washing condition is required to your eye to remove that particular foreign particle, in this you use this eye lotion and dilute with warm water for before using, and with the help of this eye lotion you usually remove the foreign particle which is present into your eye. Example of an eye lotion is the sodium chloride eye lotion. This is a sodium chloride eye lotion, or active ingredient in this lotion is sodium chloride, and concentration of a sodium chloride is 9 gram. Purified water to produce 1000 ml. Means this is for capacity of 1000 ml, and in this concentration of a sodium chloride is 9 gram. There's only 9 gram in 1000 ml sodium chloride is present, and it's a concentrated form. You should dilute this formulation. Next is the sodium bicarbonate. Sodium bicarbonate is also another example of this eye lotion, and in the sodium bicarbonate concentration is 35 gram, and purified water to produce 1000 ml in similar capacity, and the sodium bicarbonate concentration will get changed, and the sodium bicarbonate is available in 35% and not 35% but 35 gram, and these 35 gram of sodium bicarbonate you dissolve in a purified water and make the volume up to 100 ml. Sorry, 1000 ml means for 1 liter with the help of distilled water. Next formulation is eye ointment. So this is also one formulation for your eye, and this is mainly for preparation of a specific therapeutic effect. And in this we are say that main ingredient that you use for your formulation is some wax or any material which provide the proper thickness to a formulation from the ointment. And in this eye ointment are the sterile preparation meant for application to the eye. Means you easily administer your eye, and these are the sterile preparation also. Each and every ophthalmic preparation should be sterile form, so you can be easily administered and don't contaminate or don't show any toxic effects. So this eye ointment is also a sterile formulation or easy to application into your eye. And these are prepared under aseptic condition, packed in a sterile collapsible tube. Means the manufacturing as well as container packaging and storage is all are in a sterile condition, or you should prepare in aseptic condition or packed also in a aseptic or sterile condition. So it can be free from a microbes or any material, or should be available in a sterile form. And these are mainly packed in a sterile collapsible tube. Means your container that you packed this ointment should be in a sterile condition, and the container that you use for ointment packing is collapsible tube, and these are free from bacteria and in a sterile form. In this one example of this ointment, and this mainly ointment is prepared with the help of wax, and we are using different wax. And in this mainly we are using yellow soft paraffin, that is 80 gram, and liquid paraffin, that is I think 50 gram or 20 gram. So these are the example of ointment preparation. In this mainly we are using wax for preparation of ointment. Next preparation is eye suspension. So this eye suspension is a form of suspension, and small uniform particle size are present in this. So during preparation of this suspension, you should also maintain aseptic condition, and each and every steps are in aseptic condition or proper sterilization are maintained. But in this we can say that using some particles which have a uniform size or small, very small particle size, so that present in the suspension, and it can easily wettability property. So if it can easy to wettable and solubilize in your eye. In this condition, we are using some surfactant to maintain the wettability or solubility of formulation. And in this, the particles are suspended in the solution, and if they are in a settled condition, so before administration, you can mix or shake this formulation. So in this condition, all the particles are that easily dispersed in the solution. And these are the preparation are commonly used as a compared to eye drop. Means we can say that these suspension are similar to eye drop, and we are using this suspension also instead of eye drop, or replace this suspension to eye drop also. This is a common preparation of eye drop, and these are prepared only these cases drug is insoluble in desired vehicle and unstable in a liquid form. So this is almost similar to eye drop, only these suspension you manufacture in certain condition which is not appropriate for your eye drop. And in this condition, we are preparing suspension, because in suspension, some particles are suspended. So if your formulation or your API or drug is insoluble form or not solubilized in your vehicle or ingredient or unstable liquid form, when you formulate your formulation, then after formulating, it should be in a stable form and don't show a stable formulation or insoluble in all the vehicle or all the ingredient. And in this condition, we are going to the suspension part, or we formulate this suspension so that it can easily good solubility as well as a stable form liquid is received. These are the essential characteristics of and this eye suspension. In this, before preparing or during preparation, you take some characteristics in your mind that should be maintained condition of your suspension. In this, first is they should have a desired viscosity, so that you can easily administer, and during filtration, it can easily filter out. So you use such viscosity material or exhibit that have provide sufficient viscosity or suspension. Next is they should be isotonic, means maintain the tonicity according to your eye, so it can be compatible with your eye. Next is they should be sterile, means free from a microbe, and you should prepare this material in a sterile condition or proper aseptic condition. So when we prepare this in a proper aseptic condition or sterile condition, then in this condition, your formulation may be free from microbes or all the materials. And the particle size of the eye suspension should be fine, go through that should be non-irritating to eye. Compared to other formulation in suspension, there's large number of particles are present because it's a suspension form and particles are suspended in the solution. So in this, we are using a particles. So in this preparation, you should check that particle size and select those particles who are very small in particle size, or you maybe convert into small particle size, and these particle size are uniform in size, so that if it's small in size or maybe say that uniform in size, then it do not irritate your eye or compatible with your eye. You can easily take that eye suspension. And next is they should be shaken thoroughly before the use in order to distribute drug particle uniformly. Means here suspension should be in a stable form. If it's not in a stable form, some particle may be settled down in the formulation. Then if you are using, and before using, you just shake well before use your formulation or a suspension, so that all the particle get uniformly spread or form the uniform solution, or maybe take the distribution in a particle uniform way. So you prepare your formulation in such a way. Suppose if it's not a particle in a stable form or not in suspended form, but during shaking it can become in a uniform or proper distribution form. Next is it should be packed in a suitable container so that it can be easily installed to the eye. Next, packaging is also in a proper container. You should pack in a suitable container. So when you pack in a suitable container so that it can be easily installed into your eye. Means before installation, you can shake your formulation, and after shaking, you just install your formulation into the eye. There's no specific condition or any equipment is required for changing your formulation installation into the eye. Hence, you should pack in such type of container that you can easily install in your eye after shaking or after uniform distribution of the particle. Next formulation is contact lenses. So this is also one of the formulation. In this we can say that it's not a therapeutic purpose, but nowadays some contact lenses is also available for therapeutic purpose. These contact lenses mainly use a person for eyeglasses, or remove these contact lenses with eyeglasses, because it provides good vision and no any specialized person or trained person is required for installing. Anyone can install, but during this installation or wearing these lenses, you take some precaution, or you should be use always washed isotonic solution lenses, so that it can be compatible with your eye, and use in according to your trained person guidance. Without that, you don't use for long period of a time, or proper condition for installation of these contact lenses you should know. In this, contact lenses are usually made of a polymethyl methacrylate, which is hard hydrophobic plastic. Means these are nothing but the plastic in nature, and the plastic is mainly hydrophobic in nature. Means it's a lipophilic in nature, or we can say that hydrophobic, and not soluble in water and not liking of the water. And this is a plastic, and main ingredient that you use for manufacturing of these lens or plastic is polymethyl methacrylate is mainly used. And nowadays some after hydrophilic lenses are also used. These hydrophobic lenses are previously used. Nowadays different research are done, or different discovery of on these lenses are done, so that more softer lenses are available, which is more compatible than your plastic one or previous hydrophobic one. These soft lenses are mainly nature of hydrophilic in nature, just opposite to previous one, because previous one is hydrophobic, and nowadays that available is also in hydrophilic nature of lenses also. Next is a type of lenses. In this, first is hard contact lenses. So we discussed this first, hard contact lenses. Hard contact lenses are the wearer of hard contact lenses, generally used for two solution. Means it is a hard in nature when we apply or bring the contacts, and there's a two solution is required for these contact lenses. One is wetting solution. It is used primarily for tearing the lenses before insertion, and it may be wetting agent, thickening agent, and cellulose derivative, antimicrobial agent, or isotonic adjuster. So in this wetting purpose, we are using a different ingredient before installation or before insertion into your eye, or it may be contain wetting agent with some surfactants, as well as thickening agent. In thickening agent, mainly viscosity enhancer, and example of this thickening agent may be cellulose derivative used, as well as some microbial agents are also required for these hard contact lenses, and isotonic adjuster. This is a very important parameter, because you maintain the tonicity of these contact lenses according to your eye, or according to isotonicity of your eye. Next is a storage condition or storage solution for these contact lenses. You don't store these contact lenses anywhere or without any solution. It should be require some solution that it should be in a stable condition. So in this, storage solution is also required for these contact lenses. In the storage solution, the solution is used for overnight cleaning, soaking, and storage. Means before applying, you should use these lenses in proper storage solution, or contact with storage solution at least one night or overnight. And due to this, overnight it should be clean condition or soaking condition, and storage condition is also fulfilled or in a required condition. And the storage solution are contain non-ionic surface active agents. Means in this mainly we are using a non-ionic surfactant or surfactant which is non-ionic in nature, due to proper storage condition or maybe make good quality of these hard contact lenses. So you can also use surfactant for the storage solution, and this is a non-ionic in nature. Next is a second type, that is soft contact lenses. It is another type of the lenses. It's just opposite to a hard contact lenses. And in the soft contact lenses, we can say that they are soft, flexible type lens. Compared to a hard, they are very flexible and soft in nature. When you touch this, you feel that it's flexible in nature and soft in nature. And for cleaning these lenses, you heated 0.9% sodium chloride solution. Means you just treat this with 0.9% sodium chloride solution. These 0.9% solution chloride is mainly isotonic solution. Or you can say that proper tonicity according to your eye. That's why we treated this 0.9% sodium chloride solution. It's an isotonic solution. Similar to your lacrimal tonicity. And in the storage solution of these lenses should be sterile. Means proper sterile condition is required for storage of these soft contact lenses in a sterile condition or in a sterile solution. And next is the wetting of a soft contact lenses are not a problem because it's hydrophilic in nature. In previous hard contact lenses, we can say that they are hydrophobic in nature, not liking to water but oil soluble, so there may be some problem. But these soft contact lenses are revised form, and these are hydrophilic in nature. Due to their hydrophilic in nature or water soluble in nature, they have a good property and good wettability, so less problem is observed in soft contact lenses. Next is container that is used for the soft contact lenses. In this container, contact lenses solution are packed in a design to minimize the chances of microbial contamination. Means you should design these type of the container or select these containers which have a less or minimum chances of contamination when you pack these contact lenses. When you put these contact lenses into the container, it is a free from microbes or don't allow to enter the microbes. It should be in a proper condition and free from microbial contamination. Next is a plastic container are used in nowadays for packing these contact lenses or soft contact lenses. Mainly we are using plastic container, or we can say that nowadays some modification are done so that we can use plastic container for maintaining or storing these contact lenses or soft contact lenses or free from microbes. And this we put these soft contact lenses into isotonic solution, and we are using plastic container to storage this. Means in plastic container, first we take the isotonic solution that is prepared by 0.9% sodium chloride, and in this plastic container we are adding this isotonic solution, and after that you put your lens. So you should be free from microbes or less chances of contamination because these containers are closely packed or closed type container. After completing this lecture, you should know about these learning outcomes or topic regarding this ophthalmic preparation. So in this, we already discussed different formulation for eye drop, eye ointment, eye lotion, and contact lenses. After completing this lecture, you should know about what is eye drop and which are the excipients that are responsible for manufacturing of eye drop, and how you manufacture these eye drop, which condition is required to maintain the proper condition for manufacturing of eye drop. And instead of eye drop, you should also know about the eye ointment, how you manufacture, which ingredient is used for this eye ointment preparation. In mainly eye ointment, we are using some waxes because it have an ointment form or semi-solid form. So you should use some waxes or maintain the proper viscosity for these eye ointments so that you can easily install. There's no problem is observed or sufficient thickness for installation of these eye ointment. If it's too much thick, then it won't install easily. And if it's in solution form, then excrete out with the help of this lacrimal secretion. So in eye ointment, you should maintain proper viscosity with the help of some fat or many other ingredient. And all these formulation you should be prepared in a proper aseptic sterile condition. And before coming in the market, you check the quality control test and make sure that your formulation should be in a clear form or free from microbes. No contamination is present. And all type of evaluation of quality control test to perform in your formulation. And next is eye lotion. So we also discussed that eye lotion condition required for eye lotion. These eye lotion is not for therapeutic purpose, but mainly this is used for washing purpose of your eye. If he or she is suffering maybe some infection or microbial infection or some contamination problem. So in this condition, we are using this eye lotion, and these eye lotion are in a concentrated form. You don't apply this eye lotion directly into your eye before administration, or for when you use this eye lotion in a washing purpose. You should dilute this eye lotion with the help of warm water. You just dilute this eye lotion just prior to use. Don't dilute before 1 to 2 days or before 1 to 2 hours. You just use this lotion or dilute just before the use with the help of a warm water only. Next, we also see the different preparation method, and after this we covered contact lenses. In contact lenses, we discussed two types of contact lenses: soft contact lenses and hard contact lenses. Hard contact lenses is previous one, and in this contact lenses nature is hydrophobic, and it is a difficult to handle or stability issue. But nowadays some hydrophilic contact lenses is available, and these hydrophilic contact lenses are known as soft contact lenses. In this we are putting these contact lenses in a suitable container, and in this container we use isotonic solution. We have a buffer or isotonicity according to lacrimal fluid, and mainly for maintaining this lacrimal secretion isotonicity we are using 0.9% sodium chloride solution. And we already compared the difference between the soft and hard contact lenses, and we say that both out of these soft and hard contact lenses, more good as your soft contact lenses because it is hydrophilic in nature and no more precaution is required. According to stability, is also good type of contact lenses compared to hard contact lenses. So these are the learning outcome. After completing this lecture, you should know about these learning outcomes. After these learning outcomes, there's a reference section. In this reference, first reference is Ansel Pharmaceutical Dosage Form, Drug Delivery System, 8th edition by Lois V. Allen, Nicholas G. Popovich, Howard C. Ansel, published by VI Application Pvt Limited. Second reference is Textbook of Physical Pharmaceutics, Mercedes Subramanian, published by Bhalla Prakashan. Next is the Theory and Practice of Industrial Pharmacy by Leon and Lackman, Habers, Lieberman, Joseph, LP, third edition, published by Aggressive Publishing House. Next reference is a Martin Physical Pharmacy and Pharmaceutical Science, 5th edition by Patrick J. Simcoe, published by Lippert and William and S. Wilkin. So these all books are good for the ophthalmic preparation, and you can use any one of the reference or out of this, or you can also use all these books for this ophthalmic preparation. Or in this book, we covered all the topics, including previous lecture, introduction, properties, different types, preparation methods, contact lenses, and different conditions that is required for manufacturing, as well as installation techniques. So all these topics are covered in this book. After this reference part, there is question part, and questions are similar to or based on this topic or today's lecture. In this question part, if you know the complete lecture of today and previous lecture, then you can easily answer these questions because these questions are very simple and depend on your ophthalmic preparation. In first question of the following oral liquid formulation, which would be considered as an orphanal gel formulation. In this, A option is syrup, B is elixir, C is mouthwash, and D is a linctus. And in second question, which of the following formulation would not be applicable to the ocular administration? Means out of these questions, you can easily answer the correct option, which is suitable for ocular administration, because we already discussed different types of the ocular preparation or classification of this preparation. In this, option is solution, B is liniment, C is suspension, and D is ointment. So option is very simple, and you can select easily this correct option for the second question. Next, third question is ocular administration involve the treatment of which area? This is also introduction part of ophthalmic preparation, and question is simple. In this, we are discussing about the part or area of ophthalmic preparation where you apply. And this is a skin, B is the eye, C is the ear, and D is the lungs. And in the fourth question, when the solution has an osmolarity equivalent to the blood. Means in this, we are discussing about osmosity or preparation of osmotic solution or isotonic solution. So in this, we know about osmosity of the blood, and if you know about this, then you can answer or distinguish out of this four options. In this first option, one is hypotonic solution, B is isotonic solution, C is hypertonic solution, and D is a therapeutic. Next and fifth question, the intravenous, intramuscular, and subcutaneous are example of which route of administration. Use which type of administration or which route of the drug by the help of this intravenous, intramuscular, and subcutaneous. In this, A option is pulmonary administration, B is a parenteral administration, C is aortic administration, and D is the ocular administration. And in sixth question, what is the site of administration for dosage form that use transdermal delivery? For transdermal, you know about what is the transdermal formulation. In this, A option is the eye, B option is the lungs, C option is under the tongue, and D is the skin. Next and seventh question, bacteria which can attack normal corneal epithelium is a Neisseria gonorrhea. Second is Staphylococcus epidermis, C is Moracella leconta, D is Staphylococcus aureus. So we already discussed this question, and bacteria which is responsible for infecting your eye when present in ophthalmic preparation. This is gram-negative bacteria. Out of these four options or four type of bacteria, you can collect or select any one correct option which is responsible to damage your corneal epithelium. In eighth question, advanced keratinosis is leads to corrected when treated by hard contact lenses. B is rigid gas permeable, that is RPG contact lenses. C is the spectacles, and D is the keratoplasty. So these are also questions that we already discussed. You can answer these 8th question. After that, 9th question is solvent that dissolve lyophilized powder or dilute in a solution. So in this, mainly we are select any one correct excipient that we use for this question or lyophilized powder. A is a diluent, B is the solvent, C is the additive, and D is the admixture. In last 10th question, movement of a particle in a solution through permeable membrane. A is a filter, B is a dialysis, C is a fluid, and D is a anhydrous. So these are the 10 questions which is related to parenteral formulation. After completing these lectures, you can easily answer these questions. These are very simple questions related to these ophthalmic preparation or today's topic. So all these are the questions that you can solve. So thank you so much for watching and listening to this video. Thank you everyone.